I want you to imagine for me an advent calendar with a difference. This advent calendar, it doesn't have just the first 24 numbers or 25 numbers, but this advent calendar has door after door after door. The numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and actually this advent calendar contains an infinite number of doors. That's a lot to get your head round. So for the first week of the new year 2023, you're just going to be looking at that advent calendar and soaking it in, trying to imagine all the numbers that are going to appear on that list. And then it comes to week 2, and you're going to do something interesting week 2. On week 2, you are going to open every second door on this advent calendar. So door 2, and door 4, and door 6, and door 8. And I guess you can probably imagine which numbers are going to remain unopened and which ones are going to be gone. But it's going to take you a long time to get through an infinite list. So we're going to give you a full week to do that. So week 2, that's what your plan is. So if we've eliminated every second number on the list, we'll be left with something that looks like this. Not particularly surprising. We'll be left with all of the odd numbers. And remember, there's an infinite list because this just keeps on going and going and going. And I don't think it's really a surprise to you or to me that if we are going to get rid of every second number on the list, then the first number on the list is going to stay. So we get to keep number 1, along with a whole bunch of other numbers. And some of those you might be able to predict easily. And that takes us to week 3. And in week 3, what we're going to do is we're going to remove every third number that's left on our list. So not every third number on the original list, but every third one that's still remaining. And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Number 5 is going to go. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Number 11 is going to go. And then 1, 2, 3. Number 17 is going to go. And it's maybe a wee bit harder to predict what's going to be the pattern with the numbers that are left. And so this is what you get. We're left with 1 and 3 and 7 and 9 and a bunch of other numbers. And it's maybe harder to understand whether a number way down the sequence is going to be there or scored off. And what happens next is we're going to look at taking every fourth number off the list. So that's 1's going to be fine, and 3's going to be fine, and 7's going to be fine because they're the first 3 numbers, right? But what's going to be the next number that's going to go? It's going to be 9, and then what will the sequence look like after we get rid of every fourth number that remains on the list? So here we go. If you have eliminated every second number on the list, and then every third remaining one, and then every fourth remaining one, this is what we'll be left with. 1, 3, 7, 13, 15, 19. And these numbers are going nowhere. For example, when you get up to week 16, you're going to get rid of every 16th number on the list. So these are all going to be safe. The first 15 numbers are going to be safe, aren't they? And my question to you is, if you keep going throughout the whole of 2023, the whole of the year, and you get to that 52nd week, and you then go for it, and you eliminate every 52nd number on that list, the first 51 numbers are going to be absolutely fine. They're going to be untouched, unscathed. They're going to be left on their own. And I want to know what's the biggest number on that list. What is the number, the 51st number on that list? When you eliminate everything in week 52, what's that big safe number that's there at the end? And maybe you want to actually write out the numbers and score them off your list. Or maybe you want to write a wee bit of code. Or maybe you want to see if you can work this out in some other way. So don't go forward in this video if that's what you want to do. But if you're keen to find out the answer, then stay tuned. You're probably a bit suspicious. And you probably realise that there must be a reason why I'm asking you to perform this weird algorithm of removing numbers, every second number, then every third number that remains on the list, then every fourth number that remains on the list, then every fifth number that remains on the list, all the way down to getting rid of every 52nd number on the list in that 52nd week of 2023. And why am I doing that? Where's this going? What is the geeky little nugget that I'm trying to guide you towards? Well, I don't want to spoil your fun. So if you want to try this, right, either by writing out a massive list and scoring off numbers, then please stop the video and go and do that. If you want to write a bit of code that does this, then absolutely go and do that too. In fact, my good friend Fraser, when I told him about this puzzle, said, I can code this. And so let's have a wee look at Fraser's code and what it reveals, but only if you're ready to find out the answer. Here we go, this is Fraser's code, and the idea is that in week 2, we want to know if we eliminate every second number in the list, what numbers are going to be left. And so all we need to do is click run, and then that's going to give us that. Now, obviously this is a finite number of lists that we've got here. We've not got the full infinite advent calendar, but it'll give us an idea of what's happening near the start. For example, number 1 is left, isn't it? Because if we're getting rid of every second number on the list, 1's definitely going to remain. And so let's look at week 3. What happens for week 3? Well, here's the numbers that are left after week 3. After week 3, we're left with 1 and 3 and 7 and 9 and 13 and 15 and 19 and 21. Of course, 1's safe. It was safe already. Number 3, it's going to remain because we were getting rid of every third number on the list, and it's the second. And similarly, if we're getting rid of every fourth number on the list, then 1, 3 and 7's going to be alright as well after we do week 4. And let's check. Let's check. Was it? Was it? Was it? Yes, it was. Great. And then week 5, and week 6, and week 7, and week 8, and we just keep working our way through. And so, for example, by the time we get to halfway through the year, we'll do week 26, we'll get rid of every 26th number. And that means that the 25th number on the list is going to remain. So there we go, that's the 25th number on the list, 481. And we keep working our way through, and you can see the numbers that are safe are appearing in blue. And so we're aiming for week 52, aren't we? And so in week 52, we're going to get rid of every 52nd number, which means that the 51st number on the list is going to remain. And let's see what that 51st number was. Well, it was, amazingly, 2023. Can you believe it? 2023. I mean, what a fact. Amazing. This incredible geeky pattern of numbers 1, 3, 7, all the way up to 2023 and beyond is, of course, on the online encyclopedia of integer sequences. All you have to do is look up A000960 and you'll find this sequence. And there's loads more to explore, and I just want to share with you one extra wee bit before I finish. And that is that if you want to find a particular term in this sequence, for example, we were looking for the 51st term in this sequence. And actually, the way that you do that is you go to 51 squared, which is 2601, and you work your way down and try and hit a multiple of 50. So the closest one below 2601 is 2600. Then a multiple of 49, which is 2597. Then down to a multiple of 48, which is 2592. And if you work your way all the way down to a multiple of 3, then 2, then 1, you will land at 2023. It's quite an amazing algorithm that we can look at scoring off numbers, that we can look at square numbers and going down in multiples. It's a beautiful sequence, and I hope you've enjoyed it. What a geeky fact to start a new year with. And I wish you a very happy and a very mathematical and a very geeky 2023.